feeling like I'm Akademiks. Can't ride no
Crash outs, big killers, serial mobsters. Now we're going to put that to rest as well. Anyway, this stream won't be all about that. I just had to give y'all a little announcement. By the way, I'm very happy. I'm excited. Any Jamaicans in the building? Y'all see me move my intro. Yo, we're here going to be celebrating the success of the appeal, or at least the Privy Council ruling that Vybz Kartel. Y'all do know is my favorite musician of all time. It's not Drake. It's not Bob Marley. It's not Michael Jackson. It's one name, Adidja Palmer, okay, a.k.a. Vybz Kartel, okay? He's been incarcerated for, let me see, over 13 years because of a murder, okay? He was convicted because of said murder. He was sentenced to 35 to life. So if it's only been about 13 or so years, he's still got 20 more to go, theoretically. They exhausted all the appeals in Jamaica. They went to the highest court. I have to, give you a little bit of context of why this is a big deal and why Jamaicans actually feel encouraged by even this ruling, because the context does matter. At the point of Vybz Kartel's arrest, he was the most powerful man in Jamaica in terms of influence. Musically, he dominated. He influenced fashion just like how Kanye does it over here. He influenced even politics. He influenced how people thought. He influenced what people were even down to do or be open about, even a society as closed off sometimes like Jamaica with taboo things. Like, he's one of the first people that came out and said, fuck it. I don't know about y'all, but I'm getting some head out here. Oral sex was always taboo in Jamaica for a very long time. Now it's pretty commonplace, right? That's kind of to showcase his power, but that's only on the influence and societal aspect. Again, there's a whole list of like political influences he's had too, but he's also been allegedly one of the most dangerous men that came from the island. Police have claimed that he's been responsible for ordering over 100 murders. He's been linked to one of the biggest and most violent gangs, the Klansmen. And yeah, he's a very interesting figure. Someone who could, again, when it comes to countries like Jamaica, a person like this, he's good if you have him under your pocket where he'll do what you want. If he's running around thinking he's the guy, at some point you either got to incarcerate him or get him the fuck on out of here. Anyway, they did convict him of that murder, I believe in like 2013 or so, or 2014. And when they did convict him of the murder, he appealed a bunch of times, and the highest court in Jamaica said no. The way it works in Jamaica is that Jamaica is still a colony of the United Kingdom. So if Jamaica says no, you do have one last option, which is asking the monarch, hey, could you look at something that we believe the Jamaican government isn't doing their due diligence on? So the Jamaican government said no appeal, do your 35 years. And now they were granted an appeal, or like a 2-day hearing with the Privy Council to make a ruling by the UK. And this ruling has now been given to say the conviction will be overturned. What does that mean? Doesn't mean he's instantly free, but it will return to Jamaican courts that they either do two things. They're either going to free him immediately, or they're going to have to try him again. And actually, it's not free him immediately, because they could probably deliberate for a while before they free him if they're not going to try him. But basically, his murder conviction has been overturned. All right. Over the last 14 years, as I told you, or 13 years that he's been incarcerated, he's still been the #1 artist in Jamaica. He's been putting out the most amount of music, the most current music, and people can't understand how or why. Some believe he's recorded in his jail cell. Some believe that he just had a crazy library of musical, like imagine an artist having like think about it. If Pac never died but went to jail for like 10 years, with the amount of recordings Pac had, Pac probably could have kept dropping until he got out in 10 years, right? And be like, oh, okay, whatever. Some people believe he was just recording that much. His work ethic used to be record like 4 or 5 songs a day, right? However, some of these songs seem very current or on new beats. So a lot of people believe that he's been recording actively in jail and without the consent of the Jamaican authorities. I don't know if he got a cell phone, but I ain't gonna lie to you. This nigga produces hit songs in a goddamn jail cell. That's talent. Okay? I also try to give you guys musically what he means to dancehall, or what he means in Jamaican culture. He's the best lyricist in the culture. So he's the Eminem, if you want to say M is the best, or maybe it's Nas or whoever you want to say. So he's that. He's the biggest hit maker. He's Drake. So he's Eminem, Drake, all in one. Business-wise, to a certain extent, he's Jay-Z, right? And then he's King Von times 5. Okay? He's like maxed out on every attribute you could possibly ever have. Okay? It's like completely ridiculous, right? Also, you know how a lot of people give Wayne credit for giving us Drake and Nicki. The majority of artists that are still doing their thing in dancehall are still derivative from his camp, which obviously is a derivative of Bounty Killer's camp. But Popcorn came from him. Won't say necessarily Shensia came from him, but Shensia, who's doing her thing now, he gave her first big hit song. But there was other artists as well in the mix. Okay. Anyway, hopefully you guys understand it. I'm always obviously tuned into this. Again, if you don't know, I was born in Spanish Town, Jamaica. I came over to the United States at about like 10 years old or whatever. I've always, loved where I grew up at, and there's a duality with me. Y'all do know I love music internationally. Of course, I've never been to Africa yet. I haven't been to Nigeria. I want to go there specifically, Lagos in specific city. But I love Afro beats. But I'm not only a guy who listens to hip hop and drill. Of course, at times I do. But do I listen to dancehall, reggae, soca, calypso? Obviously, right? Afro beats, yeah, right? Compa, yes. I listen to everything. So I know sometimes I might be like, yo, what the fuck is this nigga playing? Get to the topics. And today's gonna be a topic day. Okay, today's not even really a